visual here is the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. It was this past Wednesday,
Yep.
April 2nd, and we got a lot of news here. And the biggest takeaway for me, fortunately, is the pricing on things. And we'll break down everything here in a sec. But
It's funny because the pricing wasn't even in the Direct at all. And it came out from people that they didn't put in the Direct specifically because they knew it would be controversial.
$449.99. There's an option for the Switch only, the Switch 2 only, which I think they missed an opportunity and they should have called it the Super Nintendo Switch.
So that's another thing another weird
Kinda
thing
just
that they
boring.
addressed. They said we didn't call it the Super Switch because of some sort of like cartridge or hardware reasoning, which made no sense to me, but
Launches June 5th. We'll get to what your message just popped up as we were about to start. $449, and games are rumored to be $70, $80, and even $90. This is not confirmed, but the Mario Kart price of $80 is.
yeah. Well, no, it's $90.
Oh, Mario Kart's $90.
Mario Kart. Well,
Perfect.
the Mario Kart physical is $90, and the digital is $80. So that's why. Oh, if you buy the Nintendo Switch 2 bundle that comes with Mario Kart, you get it for only $50. Wow. I don't know.
Tell us what that notification just popped up before we started.
Oh yeah, and then like literally 5 minutes before we started recording, I got a notification from GameStop that was saying that, hey, the pre-orders are actually not going to be going live next week on Wednesday when they were supposed to, because they need to address the potential tariff issues that might be popping up. So yeah, great.
All right, let's
move
get
on to
into some of the positive stuff.
The actual cool stuff.
Yeah, so as we said, Mario Kart World, it's called.
Yeah.
Launch title of 80 digital, 90 physical. So you can get a Switch 2 by itself, and if you're dead set on Mario Kart World, you might as well get the bundle, because the Switch 2 bundle with Mario Kart is $500.
Yeah.
So you save yourself $30 or $40.
Here's the like the thing that I was talking with my friends last night is it's it is only an extra $50, but it's digital.
Right.
And we all were like, we like the physical cartridge though.
Right.
And then it's just that weird thing of, well, is it worth $40 extra just to have that physical cartridge? And it just sucks to say, because I hate buying only digital stuff, because, you know, the PS Vita store went down and you can't access anything and you can't download anything that isn't on it anymore. But it doesn't matter, because I have all these physical cartridges that I can just pop in and play the games for.
Right.
And that's why I vastly prefer, you know, physical stuff. But it's a weird thing, because we'll get into more when we talk about more of the games. But man, I really want to get this Switch 2 on launch.
Yeah.
And I want to play some of the games on launch. That's a lot of money. A lot of money for a hobby to pump money into.
Especially when scalpers. So Nintendo Switch, by the way, if you go on their website, I did this shortly after the Switch Direct. If you go on their website and you put in your email, and it's an email associated with the current Switch Online account, they will allegedly reserve you. They will send you an email to get first dibs.
Yeah, so
About time.
they did this with the PlayStation 5, and the exact requirements for the Switch 2 are: you have to have an active Nintendo Online account, and you have to have at least 50 hours on your Switch.
There you go.
And they do that to keep people from, you know, doing the whole, hey, let me just buy a Switch, create an account, and jump on.
Scumbags.
Try to get the bots
Just
as
with
filtered
everything.
out as possible.
Ugh. What were we talking about last week with the...
Well, it was the Pokemon thing, and
Yeah.
then we saw the one guy who's trying to scam the bots, which was great.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, so they did that with the PlayStation 5 for the second wave of releases for the PlayStation 5, where you could sign up on Sony and they'd send you an email to just reserve whatever it is that you wanted, that they had stock of. It is like random times, and it's not like, hey, they're going to send them all out on Wednesday. I know they were sending them out over the course of an entire month. They're just sending people emails and being like, hey, you have 24 hours to use this link to sign in and buy the thing.
Right.
And it's just buying stuff online nowadays is so frustrating. I was going to talk about it a little bit later, but I'll just briefly touch on it now. We don't have to do it again. The Deadpool secret layers that came out. And it's like, hey, I had to wait in line in an online line for an hour for those, and they just barely didn't sell out of the one I was looking for. And then the previous Marvel ones that I had to sit in line for, the site had so much traffic it went down for an hour and a half. And it was like, cool, I get to sit in line for an hour and a half extra long just to try to, get these cool cards that I want to get. And then people are going to be selling these on TCG Player up, like the Captain America one right now, I think, which I wanted and I made a deck around. It sold for $50, and I think it's going for like near 100 now. So it's like, because that's what people have been complaining about, is it's not that you can't get these secret layers if you wanted to, it's just you can't get them at MSRP. Because they announced with this one that, hey, we're going to have them sell in local game stores a month later. It's like, you don't think these local game stores are going to be selling them at the price that they are going for online? You think they're going to be selling them at MSRP? How would they do that?
Especially some pop the stuff out and put them in the cabinets and sell them individually. Some of those places,
especially because some of these cards are really good. Like a lot of the cards in this Deadpool set are good. Like Deadly Rollick, just the normal version of that card is going for like $30 about or something. So it's like that version of the card's obviously going to be even more expensive. So
yeah, scalpers just kind of ruin everything, and it's not just video games and collectibles. It's tickets. It's everything.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, let's get into the positives.
Yes.
Mario Kart is a launch title. Mario Kart World it's an open world Mario Kart game. If you want to.
So, have you ever played Burnout Paradise?
No.
So Burnout, if you know the Burnout series at all, it's a racing game series, and you'd be like thrown on streets in a city, and you would just race on the streets. Then they made this game called Burnout Paradise, which was a giant open world map of this giant city and then like the outskirts of the city. And you could go to different like spots and begin races and do races on these roads and follow the directions you're supposed to. Or what me and my brother and all our friends did is we just drive around in the open world just trying to do cool stuff, crash in the car because there was cool, like if you would crash into something, it would do like slow-mo and show like all the metal and everything bending on the car. And so like we would be like, hey, every 2 crashes, we swap the controller off to the next person. And that's the vibes I'm getting from this one, where it's just going to be this giant open world where you can jump on the races and do your normal Mario Kart races if you want to. You can also explore this giant open world as long as there's cool tricks to do, which it seems like there's going to be cooler things to do since they have like wall jumping and different other kind of crazy things you can do as part of the racing. Might make for some fun like exploration type stuff. Like, hey, there's this cool little like ramp. That was the thing with Burnout Paradise. If you did this jump just right and did these cool things, you could get to this like park that had these ramps and jumps and everything. It was super hard to get to and find, at least as a kid. But we would do that all the time and just try to get there and then have a ton of fun just ramping off stuff, going on half pipes and things. And it's like, hey, if they do stuff like that in this game, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. And just in a general sense, the visuals that they were showing during the direct are beautiful. Like it looks so much better.
Yeah, 4K up to 120 FPS.
Is it going to be worth it? I mean, we'll see, but it's just the price. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby Air Raiders, Donkey Kong Bonanza by Air Raiders.
Air Riders.
Air Riders.
I have a lot to say about Kirby Air Ride. Not that I will say a lot about it, but like it says, the 2003 Kirby Air Ride GameCube game. Another like that was like before Burnout Paradise, because we didn't. That was Burnout Paradise was PS3. This is GameCube. This is the game that I play with my friends all the time because they. So the funny thing about this game is there's 3 different modes. There's like this regular racing mode. There's this really cool, like, you see the entire map and it's like you have, I don't even know how to explain it, but you'd see the entire map and you would have to like hit the A button at like specific times to go around turns, and it's about like trying to do these maps as quickly as possible. And then they had a city mode, and the city mode is what everybody knows this game for and played the game for. And like if you scroll up a tiny, like that one with the Link hat on.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the city mode where you're just running around in the city collecting power-ups and just exploring the city, doing stupid stuff. That is, and you could like switch out what cart you're on, and there's like a basement or a thing in the sky. We would just play that game tons. So when they announced this, my brother's like, hey, as long as there's a city mode, we're gonna sit down and play this game a ton. Yeah,
Donkey Kong Bonanza is a 3D platform, which could be fun. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I'm in the camp of I'm torn drastically on Hyrule Warriors games, or on Dynasty Warrior type games, because the games are so repetitive and boring, but they're easy to make seemingly, and it's just kind of like a new skin on. I doubt it'll be this way with Hyrule Warriors, but you could get like a My Hero Academia Warriors game.
Yeah, I mean,
but you won't get like an open world adventure game because they're just easier to make.
Yeah, they do so many of these, and like
there was a Berserk one a few years ago. Yeah,
but I liked the first Hyrule Warriors a lot, mainly because the story was actually quite fun, because it was kind of like, hey,
yeah, all
these different game universes are crashing together, and you get to interact with all the villains, and they had for some reason, a very titillating boss lady where it's like, how is this in a kid Zelda game? And then the second game I was excited for, because it was like, hey, we're doing the story of what happened the 100 years before Breath of the Wild.
Right.
And they did something weird where like you could send people out on missions, and it kind of added a little bit of complexity and not a fun way to the game. Like, oh, you get resources by sending people out on missions and they have a chance of succeeding or failing. It was really weird. But then what really lost me with the second game was when it said, hey, actually, this isn't a prequel, it's a fan fiction, because you don't care about spoilers for the second one, do you?
No.
Where it's like, hey, the heroes from the future come and save the people who were supposed to die in the past, and then it's all about like winning in the past. And I was like, I was hoping for like a game where you actually get to do. Yeah, I was hoping for a game where it was actually like focused on like the actual story, and it is a tragedy where it's like the people are gonna, and you lose in the end. Like that's the thing that happens. Maybe Nintendo was afraid to do that for a kids game or something. But yeah, no, all the heroes from the past or from the future come and save their respective ancestors to keep them from dying, and then they go and defeat, like the evil at the end and stop. Like they basically prevent Breath of the Wild from happening.
Right.
And it's like I assume as much from what I've read. I quit the game kind of soon after that point because it really lost me, and I was like, I just lost all interest in what I had in this game. So for this new one, they're like, oh, it's a prequel of what happened 100 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get fooled again.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you won't do that again, but I mean, it's supposed to be the same thing of, hey, they all come together and they end up losing in the end. I mean, like they do, if you know Tears of the Kingdom at all, they do end up sealing him away, but it's like, cool, everybody else dies. Are you going to let that happen?
Right.
Probably not. You're probably going to do the same thing you did last time. I don't know. I have zero faith after I got burned the last time.
Yeah. I'm going to shift my focus here to a From Software Switch 2 exclusive. When they dropped this trailer, I'm like, this looks kind of Bloodborne when they're going through. So it has jetpacks and hand gliding, but it also has the classic. There's a lot of freaky looking mutated characters and the music and the setting. It's literally
Demon Souls to Dark Souls, but for Bloodborne, because it's like, hey, Sony won't make another Demon Souls. We're gonna make Dark Souls.
Right.
Say Sony's not gonna make a Bloodborne. We're making Dusk Bloods.
Yeah, this is
literally what it is.
It looks incredible. The hands on some of the characters looked a little wonky, I was noticing in the trailer, but you got to also remember this is coming next year. This is a 2026 title, so it's still in progress.
Yeah.
But this looks awesome. I'm going to play the hell out of this. And they also announced a few games down here. Cyberpunk 2077 is actually insane that they're doing this, but Elden Ring?
It's got to be. I mean, you watch the trailers for them, and it's like, it looks a little rough. It's probably cloud versions of the game, kind of what they did with the Kingdom Hearts games on the Switch, where it's like, hey, you have to be connected to the internet to play these games because it's just downloading it from the cloud.
The fact that PlayStation 5 couldn't play this thing, and they're gonna put it on the Switch, that being 2077.
I mean, they had a ton of like games that are in progress or already out that are coming to Switch 2, which is good to do, because that way if you're buying the Switch 2 and you don't own these games, maybe it gives you other stuff to play in the meantime.
Elden Ring being there is also actually incredible. So I'm blown away by that. The other one, Hades 2, Street Fighter 6, Split Fiction, and Bravely Default.
Yeah. Really cool ones.
Yeah. GameCube games are coming to Switch 2.
Wind Waker, but not the HD upscale. It's just regular HD. It's just regular Wind Waker. Just
you
a little
can
sad.
actually play Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which is impossible to get unless you're willing to pay $300-$400.
Yeah, I think
I still have my GameCube and I could play it, but the game is just not gettable.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be on launch, because they said the only 3 on launch were those first 3 they showed, but they said, hey, these are the future titles coming in, and I saw that and I was like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But
Metroid Prime 4 looked fantastic.
Yeah, I can. So that's the one thing that has me going like, I probably got to buy a Switch 2. Is I want to play Metroid Prime 4 1080p.
Yeah.
Or 1080p 160 or 120 FPS.
Yeah, and it just looked so good. Now, we saw some Metroid Prime 4 the previous week on the regular Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, because it's coming to just the regular Switch.
Yes, it's a dual release, and it just looks amazing.
And that's the other thing, though. Metroid Prime 4, I'm pretty sure, is a $70 game, right? And they said you're going to have to buy an upgrade pack to play it on the Switch, too. Which means it's going to be $80 or $90.
That's the same thing with Pokemon Legends EA.
Yeah, all of the Switch 2 editions of games, they all say like upgrade packs, and it's kind of a little gross. Yeah, Switch 2 editions. Yeah.
Some amiibos are on the way. Excited about that.
I didn't know about that. That's my first. They didn't do that during the. They didn't announce that during the Direct. That must have came out afterwards.
The other thing that we have on here that Game Informer doesn't seem to is the share button. The C button is a chat button. Switch Online is required, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have it. Oh, no, so sorry. It's only required up until March of 2020, or it's not required until March of 2026, because they want to give everybody a free, like, try of it. So they said, like, oh, yeah, you can use it up till March of 2026 without needing a Nintendo Switch Online account.
Right.
But it's kind of like PSN. You're going to have it in order to chat. But I mean, it's good for kids, because you don't want people just joining other random people and then just being like, because of the camera feature, just being like, hey, look, here's my junk.
Yeah.
To a 5-year-old.
And, the Nintendo is going to be relying heavily on this online feature. The Switch Online was so bad that people, if they wanted to play games against each other, would use Discord and separate, call on the phone, anything else other than that chat they had on the Nintendo app. It was brutally bad.
It was bad.
They mentioned the camera.
They have a Piranha Plant camera? Jeez.
It is available on launch as well.
Rumors is it's over $100 for the camera.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Where I was like, well, there goes any chance of me buying one.
Yeah, especially you're dropping $449 on that.
Yeah. It's like, what am I supposed to spend $1,000?
Yeah. Who's got that kind of money?
Ugh.
Let's see what else we got here.
Just other things we can quickly hit up is, because it was funny, the Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which is kind of like their version of like Wii Sports. It's like the tutorial thing. However, this one's like, it literally does just look like a tutorial, though, because you go to text boxes and they say, hey, you can do this thing, and then they give you a little demonstration. It's paid. You have to buy that. They had something similar for the Vita, and it was free. It came with every Vita. Welcome Park. And that's the other funny name. This one's called the Welcome Tour, and the PS Vita one was called Welcome Park. But yeah, no, the Welcome Park was free. I remember that. I played that. It was fun. And I'm sure this one will probably be fun. Is it going to be worth $20-$30 though, for how much they're going to probably charge you for it? No.
Of course not.
Heck no.
Let's see. That's available day one, and then there's a game share. Only need to own one game across 4 consoles, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think you have to be friends and near each other or something like that. But the idea is, it's like, hey, And it's sorry, for multiplayer type games, I guess. And it's only specific ones. So I'm assuming that that's not going to be the case for Mario Kart World. Everyone's going to have to own the game. They showed it for like this like backgammon and chess and like all these random type game things where it's like, hey, if you want to play backgammon with your friends, you can just share the game. It's for specific games. So like I said, I'm sure Mario Kart World is not going to be one of those because they want everybody to have to buy Mario Kart World in order to play it. But
of course,
I think it works because also like I'm sure like Splits Fiction will have that because that they make that the case on everything right now, where it's hey, only one person needs to buy a copy of the game and your friends can join the game for free then. Because it's like, hey, it's a multiplayer game. What? That makes the game in order to play cost $120. And the guy, that's why I really like the guy who runs Hazel Lake. He's like, no, the game's $60. You want to play with your friend? You pay $60, you both get to play the game.
Yeah.
Crazy thought, right?
Good old days.
Yeah. It was funny. Somebody said for Split Fiction, they were talking to the guy, Joseph Ferris is his name, and they were like, hey, so, because you have 2 females who are the main characters, are you putting DEI in your game? And he goes, I don't even know what the heck that is. I just made a game I'm inspired by my 2 daughters, because, you know, they're growing up and love telling stories. That's where I got it from. It's like, he's a real one. Like, people say, like, he's based and everything. Or, like,
yeah, I've heard that word before.
Yeah, I think he learned it from me.
All right.